There's a flashing in my eyes, time to see my condition. The nation is gone right again. Can't you see now? Illusions right into your mind. Deja vu, I just been in this place before. Higher on the street, and I know it's my time to go. Calling you, and the search is a mystery. Standing on my feet, it's so hard when I try to be me. Whoa, deja vu, I just been in this time before. Higher on the beat, and I know it's a place to go. Calling you, and the search is a mystery. Standing on my feet, it's so hard when I try to be me. Yeah.
Hello everybody, my name is oh god. Blah. Hello everyone, my name is Notepad and on Warlord Games for fun. How are y'all doing? I am very sick. Welcome to the wonderful fucking world of fucking allergies, where I don't feel very good and I feel like ass. I feel like ass, if you want me to be honest. Ohayo gozaimasu. Moshi moshi desu kun. Howdy-ho. Yeah, see, the worst part, I didn't quite realize how bad it was. But then I took a walk today. I decided to go, like, I have to go to the store, I have to pick up some things. I'm gonna grab them, get home, it's gonna be great. I live next to a park, effectively. I walked through the park. The park was nothing but fucking flowers. And I'm like, no, please. And it's been bad this year. This is a particularly bad year. I have been on Benadryl pretty much all day today, just to try to like mitigate some of the blunt. It ain't working. It ain't working too hot. That's all I'm saying. 2022's been actually pretty decent for the Notepad add-on experience. Not good, but not bad. Let's open up some things. See, what's going to hit me hard is in about 2 months. In about 2 months, I will find out if I am dying. Because usually that's when I get like my real big sickness. This is just the prelude. I don't get sick often, but when I do, I am on my ass. So, what are we working on today, though? Well, today we're going to be working on the preliminary to this thing. This is called Trenchfoot. It is an RNG-less wargame. Why? Because I felt like making one to say that I did. That's really it. That's kind of the reason. Should have used lean. We should always use lean. Oh yeah, before I forget and doze off, I would like to thank Ivorant. I would like to thank you for following. Thank you very much, brother. Hopefully you have a good day. So yeah, this is what we're working on today. Yeah, and in case you're wondering, yes, this is going to be a war game. I don't always get horrible allergies, but when I do, Dosaki doesn't help worth a damn, pretty much. Also, I should address this. Hi, Manly. Inopportune, weird hour streaming. Yeah, I've been asleep half the day. I had dinner. I made a big dinner tonight. I'm hungry. So I ate big dinner. That took time. Wanted to go over other things, so I did other things. It was a mess. It was a genuine mess today. But here I am, But yes. See, I would like nice and chilled. That would be my ideal state of being right now. Chilled. Like a good 60 degrees and I'd be happy. It's like 60, 65. Shorts and a short. Again, my ideal temperature is shorts and a light coat. That is the dream right there. But yes, this is Trenchfoot. Trenchfoot is a game about World War I. Kind of a weirdly not touched upon era when it comes to actual like war games. Now, I debated on this a few reasons, and some people actually did make some very good kind of notes about it. The idea is like it's hard to get tactical in World War One. I think that's like kind of a big idea behind it. It's like it's kind of hard to get tactical with it compared to World War Two. It's much more successful, younger brother, and because it's harder to kind of get into it, and it's a lot more about static warfare. It's a lot more about just shooting people with massive guns from halfway across the entire world. That's what it is, rather than kind of the in the trenches, but like on the ground, boots in the ground, more tactical stuff. There's a reason you can find like World War II miniature games. These are almost a dime a dozen. Like you can find quite a few World War II stuff very easily. World War I gets a little bit hard. See, it's very interesting because you end up with this. You end up with, a lot of Napoleonics. Like Napoleonics, there's a shit ton of Napoleonics out there, war game wise. Then you end up with kind of like, I don't even know what you would call like Victorian era, I guess. Victorian era. You get a lot of those that kind of ending off at the not the Russo-Danish, it's the Prussian-Danish War. What was the exact name? Yeah, the Second Schleswig War. Usually it ends off about there. And then you kind of get this weird like power gap, and then you get World War II. They don't really talk about anything in here. I'm curious. Franco-Prussian war game. There's Pride of Nations. Want to play Pride of Nations? Oh Jesus! I remember pirating that game way back in the day. Can't say that. But yeah, there's our boys, strategy and tactics. But yeah, these you kind of skip past these particular era, like this kind of particular era. I would say about like late 1800s. I'd say 1870s to about 1930s. These just aren't touched in game terms. Usually, if you ever have to ask, is this, what does this count as? Like, it's usually the most extreme. Let's see. See, I need to get honey, actually. Yeah, weirdly not touched upon era yet. I would say weird war. Colonial wars, you get a lot of like that, but not like the sheer, not war game wise. Let's see. Yeah, after World War II, you do see some Cold War coverage, but not much. Yeah. Then like after World War II, you end up with like Cold War. Usually this is where like I'm gonna say gimmick games come in. Like anytime you have like, oh, this is a jet game, it's gonna be going in Cold War. Like it's gonna be during these two mostly. Yeah, so it's kind of a Then I guess you get some modern war stuff, but like this era right here, about 1870s to 1930, a lot of wars happen, but they just don't usually get war gamed. Usually, what occurs with them are, let me bring one up. Hex and Chit Company, Hex and Chip game. You end up with these. These are Hex and Chit games. I actually find them very interesting, and usually the case is you are trying to strategize around, and you usually have these massive maps that you're trying to move your forces through, and you're trying to navigate, and it's a big affair. Like, these things can get massive, and these were very popular back in the day. Sometimes they get referred to as box war games. Yeah, sometimes that's kind of like what they end up being called, like. But yeah, Hex and Chit is usually kind of the accepted term for them. But yeah, these were very popular back in the day, and they still are. Don't get me wrong, like, people still play Hex and Chits all the time. There's a reason they keep being made. There's actually nowadays, usually though, they are games, like video games. You see a lot of those. Even some famous ones like Squad Leader was a Hex and Chit game. Strategy and Tactics. These guys, fun fact, Strategy and Tactics made Dallas the RPG. But yeah, that's what they made primarily, and you kind of see all these different things. Like, oh. However, we're going to be dealing with a game in World War I, and it's going to be fascinating. I think there's a Squad Leader video. I would be surprised if there wasn't. I think there's a lot of games inspired by Squad Leader, is a thing. Yeah, you used to play a lot of those in my local game store. Like, yeah, they're popular. They're very fun. Like, the people who really enjoy them love them, and will play nothing else. Ooh, there we go. There's my shoulders. Gotta lock those babies up. But yeah, it's kind of the goal with Trenchfoot. I wonder if there is. Did I put that down? No. The goal with Trenchfoot is to be kind of like if Hex and Chit is right here, and we'll say like, quote, traditional war game is right here. I want Trenchfoot to be here, kind of like a weird midpoint, where it's not like the overt detail of Hex and Chits, but not the scale of traditional war games, you could say. Because the big thing is, there's not going to be a miniature. There's not going to be miniatures or anything like that. This is going to be blocks. It's going to... Hello, game. How often are there Civil War games? Quite a few. There are many Civil War games, actually. Many. Too many. What do I... let me see. What do I mean by RNG-less war game? Well, an RNG-less... Like, most of the time when you see, like, a war game, most war games, it's kind of like the idea of, you know, Squad A attacks Squad B. Squad B, Squad A rolls X, you know, X to hit, or, you know, X for damage or to hit. There's a little bit of chaos to it. That's RNG, random number generation. There's a bit of randomness to things. That randomness is what really sometimes make these games. Warhammer would not be the same if there was no RNG to it. However, RNG-less does have an interesting issue, and people have been talking about it, like, this is kind of like a weird thing people have, like, talked about before, and usually it's like, how do we do this? How does it work? The thing that usually gets brought up, though, is this. This is Kriegsspiel. Kriegsspiel is actually a very detailed war game used by the Prussians back in the day. It's been formalized, obviously, a little bit more. However, there is still Kriegsspiel being played. The basic idea is that there are two players, and they are moving around as well as an umpire. The umpire is the one making the calls. There's not really any RNG per se outside of what the umpire is saying. If you move your guys into this position for this reason, you've changed the board state, and if you attack, he looks at the situation and be like, these are guards, they are being attacked by infantry, this is what's going to occur. There are some more to add, like some more like randomization to it. You can see it's like, you can see like here, even 1812 is when it actually kind of was formally created, and it's still going on, mind you. Like these are actually fairly in depth. The Kriegsspiels are these are the modern dice of Kriegsspiel to give you an idea of how autistic this can get. Tried to get into Antares, but no, died of boredom reading the rule book. But let's see. Let's see. So, oh god. Hello, Warlord's a very. I like Warlord. I think they have some interesting ideas. I think the issue with Warlord is that they definitely know their audience at this point. And hell, again, if you ever want to see what perfectly encapsulates this, here's a Napoleonic, here's a World War II, here's some more Napoleonics. Here's some Red Sky, Battle of Britain, World War II. We also have zombies. Ta-da! But yeah, I think this will be interesting. It does bring an interesting issue when it comes to RNG lists, is that there's going to be two things I need to consider, because I don't want to umpire. Again, this is going to be kind of a midpoint. I want to still be entertaining. So like the big thing is like a no umpire or anything like that. One of the big things though, that I kind of want to emphasize is how do I want to stay kind of like an order system. Have any of you ever played Diplomacy before? Do you think Warlord Games is a good introduction? If you never touched a war game, never touched a war game before, go to like OPR, like one page rules. So they're not too bad. They're pretty easy to get into, mostly because they're. Or you can do like one of the Army Man games. I think people meme a little bit on Diplomacy in that regard. Diplomacy is fun, but you get it's a lot more about, how do I want to word? Diplomacy is a game where you're always trying to second guess your opponents and always trying to figure out where they're going and what they're going to be doing. And Frostgrave is actually pretty good. Actually, the big thing is this order system is where you could say the chaos comes in, because you are only going to get a certain amount of orders. You, the player, only have a certain number of actions that you can actually perform. And you can only order a certain number of your guys to do something. However, you take a step back and you're like, they only have a certain number of actions, because this is also going to be kind of a simultaneous turn thing. You're going to write down your orders, you're going to then reveal your order. Which is like, okay, we've kind of determined what's going on here. Yeah, some things akin to that. I want kind of the diplomacy experience minus the loss of friendship. More, hey, you outplayed me, or hey, what convinced you to do this insane tactic over here that should have never worked, but it totally did and totally paid off. Yeah, things like that. Now, that is where the main chaos is going to come in. right there, this order system. And that's how the madness is going to ensue. However, it's making sure that works. Like that's the fun. That's the fun part. Now, let's actually think. Let's see our notes here real fast. So RNG-less wargame, hidden information. Yeah, this was the big one. And I kind of have an idea for this where it's going to be something more like secret object, like pretty much you're going to have we'll say a determined objective plus a secret objective. So kind of, we go to the map here. Your determined objective might be take the town. That is like the thing that you are guaranteed you must do. You must take the town. However, your secret objective might be take this fucking hill over here. But your opponents might be get over here. And it's kind of like whoever succeeds at the most objectives is going to win. So you may say, the player over here may say, like, well, I can afford to lose the town to bait you to push the lines in a way that I now am better off. I've succeeded in this. I have succeeded in my objectives and prevented you from succeeding in yours. Therefore, I've done something correct. However, the hidden soldier information, that's where things get a little bit wonky, because all the soldiers are going to have two values. Like we'll just call them a unit for now. A basic unit is going to have two things. You're going to have your attack value, and you're going to have your defense value. And if you are attacking, you are moving to, it's kind of like moving to take a trench, because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be moving to take a trench. You're moving upwards. You're entering no man's land with the goal of taking their objectives. You want to break their line, and because you want to break their line, that's how you're going to do it. Moving to take a trench. However, your defense value is is defending a trench. However, now anyone with basic where cards would be good for that. Run the bones. Cards would be, I'm thinking like I don't know if like just to do blocks or cards. Nothing's going to be invisible like that. Because what I was thinking of, God, what was that one Napoleonic war game. There was one board thing. Fuck, what was it called? I can't remember what it was called. But there was one where it wasn't necessary, like pretty much as each side, you would just have a block with a basic indicator of saying like, hey, this is infantry. You clearly know that this is infantry, but you don't know what type of infantry. And that's where kind of the secrecy came, because on the back it would say like, hey, this is a triple rated infantry, like this is a really good infantry. However, they don't know that. With the idea being that what's there, but not the quality of what's there. So you kind of want to throw kind of like these fucking useless conscripts at the enemy to kind of like figure out what they have, being like, I want to just do a little attack. We compare notes, being like, I have 3 attack. How much do you have? Oh, I have 4. And you have 2 units there with 4. Okay, that means they have just infantry there. And your opponent also knows. He just threw something away. He knows what's there now. I want to reshuffle. I want to move people around a little bit. he knows that I know that he knows that I know that I know that he knows. It's a lot. I want that mind games to be kind of a key factor. But that's where the hard part's going to really come in for that. So, like basic values would be something like, you know, a basic, we'll say like basic infantry off, you know, basic infantry. Like these guys are, you are handed a rifle, you're not veteran, you're not awesome, you're not bad, you're just an infantry guy, would have like 1-2. Where if you are attacking somebody, we'll say, you know, infantry versus infantry, where because there's a 1 here and they have a 2, this infantry, like the attacker, is going to get destroyed. When we compare our information, we're going to compare what's next to each other, and we're going to kill each other. With that being kind of one of the bigger issues, you could say. Which is, let's say I muster a bunch of guys, and I have an AV of 3, but you have a DV of 6. I'm going to kill 3 of your units. You're going to kill 6 of mine. Yeah, like we've just mulched each other, with the idea being like you need overwhelming numbers or support of some kind to actually kind of push through, which is kind of the problem. So maybe we do something like AV minus DV equal. Actually, no. Because I always want, the defender always has advantage. And the way to pretty much mitigate that advantage is overwhelming numbers or overwhelming firepower. That's always the catch. How do I want to do this? So maybe we do defender always has it. Since the defender always has advantage, you're always going to be attacking another trench. You're always going to be moving to capture something or establish a new trench or do something in that regard. So maybe we do something like maybe give them, I wouldn't say like a HP pool, like health pool or something. But like, how do I do this? Because pretty much what I want to occur is we've thrown each other at one another. We've expended our troops. We've lost troops. We've gained. We've maybe gained an inch. We pull back to our trenches. You lick your wounds, I lick my wounds, and that's kind of the issue. Option A, we build each unit like we'll just say infantry 1-2. If I can actually fucking spell infantry, 1 attack, 2 defense, and like manpower 5 or something. So if you take 6 damage, you're going to have to assign it to that particular infantry. Be like, you've taken 6 damage, you've taken casualties, that unit's gone. You've just wiped it the fuck out. It's just annihilated. Where what am I thinking of? Oh, my idea for artillery was very simply either there's 2 options for artillery. Either artillery, like artillery either softens up a trench, or it's or it just like outright destroys another. Outright deals damage, you could say. With the idea of like softening up, you'd be like, oh, well, your defense is reduced by 1, where this is now an even fight, or this is now this. However, the catch being you have to give orders to your artillery, and if you give orders to your artillery to fire on a position, you're going to have to kind of or people are going to be able to kind of realize like, wait a second, he's moved. Like, let's say this is our current, like we have the red player and the green player. If you are massing your artillery, like we'll use this little orange thing. If you're massing your artillery like right here, then the red player is going to be like, oh, well, I obviously something is going to be happening here soon. I need to get into, I need to either hunker down or kind of counter battery. Being like, yeah, it doesn't fucking matter either direction. Or do you want to put, or if it's like, oh, well, I'm going to put all my artillery over here. So we just barrage each other into a fucking oblivion. And that's kind of what's the best way of doing this? I was thinking about it earlier after you first mentioned it. I'd say handle softening up via fractions. Yeah, it's there's a lot of there's a lot of maybe if more buts. Yeah, that's why I was thinking, because like there's going to be three scenarios that can occur in like an average fight, just pure infantry, leg infantry. 3 situations can occur. 1, attacker versus attacker. Well, actually, no, I should say attacker versus defender. I have gone over the top. You have shot me on the approach into no man's land. We compare our results. Do I do damage to you? After having my men die, do I actually do damage to you? Or do I lose too much? Or do I lose a lot in the have or do I do anything, or have I just thrown lives away? We have the obvious one, defender versus defender, which nothing occurs because we're both sitting in our trench looking at each other. And then we also have attacker versus attacker. You've both gone over the top, probably without realizing it, and you've met in the middle. And that's we're rushing in, I'm stabbing you with a bayonet, you're stabbing me with a bayonet, I'm beating someone with a shovel. It's a mess. We both lose people equally. It's no longer I have the advantage, you don't have the advantage. It's I've lost a lot of people, you've lost a lot of people, nobody wins. Now, artillery factors into that a little bit weird, because you can either say, like, here's offensive artillery, which is the idea of, like, the artillery is assisting in the attack. I want to hurt the defender. I want to make their life hell, so my guys can get it. It's the creeping barrage situation. On the other hand, you can have defensive artillery. They're rushing us, carpet bomb the entire area, kill everybody in no man's land within a certain area. And if they cross into no man's land at that point, they're going to get absolutely annihilated before they even get close. So it's kind of like, wow, are we doing this? And that's why I kind of want some of the more amusing things of, hey, it's attacker versus attacker, and you decided to do a offensive artillery. Yeah, you're going to attack your own people. It's literally everyone in no man's land. It's completely indiscriminate. You blasted everybody to hell and back. So it's like, how do you do this properly? I can see it in my head. That's the worst part. Like, that's the worst part. You can see it in your noggin. Decisions about no man's land hidden from other players. Yeah, it's kind of one of the big ideas. Also, hello. One of the big ideas is that you both write your orders in, you flip them over, and that's when what's occurring. The big idea, though, the big oopsie, is depending on wherever your general is located, we'll say the green general down here is actually the initiative order. So if our little green guy wants to like appeal to these guys, it's going to be faster than if he wants to give these guys orders. Or he wants to give these guys, than these guys orders. So there's a little bit of tactical going on, being like, do I spend one of my own orders to move myself to have my other orders go faster? But I'm spending time and effort and resources to move myself all the way over here to do something. But now these guys are completely, fucked. They're out of position completely. So that's what I was kind of thinking about when you reveal it, you realize, it's kind of like, I realized far too late, these guys, I thought, oh, these guys are going to rush me right away, so I'm going to move over here to make sure that I can defend easy. They didn't. These guys rushed, and now your orders are going to be delayed. Artillery isn't going to be firing until it's far too late, and things like that. Like, what about trench shot? What do you mean by trench shot? Have you considered making this a card game? Honestly, I probably could, and it would probably be easier, but I've committed to a war game. That's the issue. Like, that's the issue. I've committed at this point. So, let's see. So, I'm going to worry. Let's just worry about the most basic idea right now. The absolute basics. So, if we go under the idea that so let's say again, we have our basic infantry. The infantry climb over the top. They rush to pretty much a location. That's the plan. They want to rush to a location. We want to move these 3 units. Trying to select. Miro does not like. I want to rush these 3 units up to try to take this. That's kind of the plan. Like, we have rushed in. I'm going to try to attack them, and they're trying to attack me. What does that look like? So what we can do is either, if we go with the just raw, we could say there's 2 things. There's raw value versus, and then like a health value. Raw value would be, defender attack, and like defender value, defense value. Defense, which would be units destroyed equal DV. So it would just be, because they have like say three infantry, they have DV6. I throw 3 infantry at them with AV3. My guys die on the approach. They just get mulched. There's no health or anything. It's, I've put my 3 guys, I put them forward, they die. Very, very simple, very to the point. No, there's also, but the health value, which would be, so you could do something along the lines of, so it'd be defender. We can say it would be defender, it would be DV, AV, then DV again. So 3 infantry, let's say there's 4 infantry. We'll do verse 4 infantry has an AV of 4. 6 DV still annihilates them. We'll do 7 infantry, so it'd be AV 7. They rush up. 6 of them gets mulched immediately because there's this 6 here. 6 of them just get mulched. They're dead. They're dead on the approach. Then the initial infantry then the AV goes. So we've killed 6 of our infantry. We only have 1 infantry remaining with AV1. which leads to this guy dying, which then goes to, okay, DV, the other infantry dies. You've lost the 6-7 guys you've committed to the fight. However, you've killed one of them. That's gonna be rough. Oh, shotgun or things like oh, trench guns and things like that. Not really. I'm not really factor that like. This might be a Warhammer experience speaking, but how about range stat and trench storming stat with defense value being more dependent on the terrain and fortifications? Honestly, that's not a bad idea. Honest to God, that's not a bad idea. So, because like the unfortunate thing is like I can't with the sheer scale of what's going on here, I can't use like I'm not going to be I can't really use like a traditional battle map necessarily, because one of the gimmick is that you're drawing trench lines. Like the red here is a trench with, you know, people in it, and that's kind of like your own defensive points. So okay. I am leaning more toward health value though. Actually, let's do a little bit of research, Sally. World War I over the top. Actually fail. We'll do failed attacks. If you fail an attack, a lot of people die. Do you retreat though? That's the question. Fails. Permits attacking against entrenched enemies. And we'll race to the sea. Then produce match pair trench lines to the Swiss borders to the south. Solidify the line trenches with the last being more massive, futile in the face of artillery fires, will rapid fire. Both sides concentrate on breaking up enemy attacks and protecting their own troops while digging deep into the ground. After a buildup of forces, the goal is just decided by attrition. Frontal assaults and associated casualties became inevitable because the continuous trench lines had no open flanks. Casualties, defenders match those of the attackers, as vast reserves were expended in costly counterattacks were exposed to attackers' massed artillery. There are periods which resistant warfare broke down, such as Battle of the Somme, but lines never moved very far. Libya won by the side able to commit the last reserves to the Western Front, prevailed Western Front until the Germans launched a spring offensive. Front lines 100 meters deep and contain a series of roundabouts, continuous trenches. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, now mind you, I'm using just like infantry TM right now, just to kind of get like, this is just hammering out the details. Yeah, like right now it's like you gotta hammer out the little details to make sure everything actually functions properly. If we do... Now this is gonna sound really cringy. This is gonna sound really painful. However, what am I doing? This would be more. No, this isn't what I'm looking for. Form combat, continue attacking, continue holding province. Number of attacks is round hardness, modified attack divided by 10. The number of defenses round defense to 10, round to X. Nelly, each attack has potential to be a hit caused by HP organization or a miss. No effect on HP organization. After each attack, the defending unit removes one defense. Chance of being hit depends on whether the defender has any defenses left. A unit with defenses less than 10% chance of being hit, 90% chance of defending against a hit. For each hit, the amount of possible damage done. A die is used to randomly determine damage done. For HP, die size is 2, and organization damage, it is 4. Organization per hit. Okay. What we could do, I'm thinking, we instead call this like organization value. We'll call it organization for this easy. And the idea being, here, I'm a GI, and big thing time. Where you have not the raw value, but every unit would have effectively a health bar. You could say that if we attack, so a basic assault. Let's just say we have 3 defenders versus 3 attackers. And so that would be, we'll just do attacking infantry. Again, this is purely white room. So that would be, if we keep our numbers accurate, this would be 6 DV versus 3 attacking, so 3 AV. And let's say they get 1 attack on the lead up. So it would be DV, then AV, then DV. So DV, they're going to take 6 damage spread around those 3 units. Those 3 units are going to take 6 damage, and that means they have to divide it back. And they only going to have 5. Well, fuck it. We can even say like they're going to have 4 health apiece, pretty much. Not really. Infantry is going to break fast. They are meat. They are you throw them there to just die. And because of that, because they've taken 6 damage, they have to make a decision, the actual player. They say, okay, so let's say infantry 1, infantry 2, infantry 3. And then we'll do D infantry 1, D infantry 2, D infantry 3. So, you've taken 6 damage, and they have 4 out of 4 health each. And let's say you want to split it up evenly. You split it up evenly, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Everyone's at 2 HP. This leads to them doing damage. However, you're only going to do 3 damage because that's the amount of attacking you have. You want to split it up evenly as well. We're going to do like 3, 3, 3, 3, and then 1 takes 2 damage. And then you do 6 more damage. DV, you have, and these guys are immediately lost. They've made the attack and they continue. But we can say that if you can do like a committed, if you want to, you could do something like a committed attack, which is, this is an optional one, but they're always going to get another attack in. You can try to do more damage, but if you lose people on the approach, you're going to die. But in that, if we do this method, here's the secret. Artillery can deal damage, can deal org damage now, organization damage. Can deal organization damage now. If you're defending, it's going to pretty much cripple the attacker before they get there, so you can just wipe them out before they even there. Offensively, you can damage the other side before, you can pretty much soften them up slightly, so when you do actually attack, they have lower organization. They're going to run away, they're going to die. Which can lead to spicy wind. Spicy wind can deals an absurd amount of organization damage, but cannot wipe a unit. Artillery can wipe units, with the idea being that if you gas somebody, they're going to panic, but they're not going to lose a lot of people. People are putting their masks on. People are, doing their best to do that. However, it's the more of the idea of, I can't see anything. The enemy is advancing. We're fucked. We're now kind of running. People are running away. People are getting shot. People are kind of getting mulched on the way out. Okay. But, and here's the secret. We can also do things like, we'll say, for an example, there is like a machine, MG unit. MG unit may have 0 attack. They are helpless. They don't do anything when they attack, but they have like 4 defense. They're going to absolutely murder anything that gets close. They are useless at attacking, though. You are completely defending. But the problem is, hey, you're getting artillery barrage constantly. You're taking big damage. You're not really able to reinforce them. And because of that, they're dying. Your MG is going to die if you don't do anything. So let's say they have like 6 or something. And then, like you say, kind of like stormtroopers, their gimmick is that they have really good attack, kind of mediocre defense. They are very durable. They're far more durable than they should be. But we can assign, then we can give them little things like, oh, well, it has to be a range. They have like a range X or something, machine guns, range Y or some things like that. Like you can play around with that a little bit more. And then certain places where the reinforce, you can get bonuses. Like, hey, we're on a fucking mountain. Yeah, no shit. I'm gonna get some bonuses because I'm on a mountain and you're not. I am in a heavily defensive position. You are not in a heavily defensive position, and the weather favors me and shit like that. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so org damage is going to have to happen. So we can probably put in we will say 5 generic. We'll just put in 5 generic units. 5 generic units. We'll say 2 artillery. We'll say 2 artillery pieces. We'll say like a light artillery and a heavy artillery. Heavy artillery is longer range, but it's more kind of like expensive on the points front. Because again, this is going to be kind of a hybrid war game, so you're going to have to buy your army effectively. And actually, that's a good idea. What I can do is use the reserves, with the idea of reserves to reinforce. So that's kind of how you're getting your organization back. Is not only do you have literal units in reserve, you also have a pool to kind of like heal everybody. Being like, yeah, we're taking an absurd amount of damage. However, I'm healing everybody at the end of my turn, at the end of the round, using this pool of resources I have. Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll do 5 generic units. 5 generic units, 2 artillery pieces. This should work pretty well. What I'm thinking of is we do infantry, which is just going to be like the backbone. They're cheap and ineffective. They're there to fuck with your enemy, effectively. They are there to, we have a lot of guys, and it's throwing them at the problem. We're going to have stormtroopers, expensive shock troops. We're going to have cavalry. We're going to have cavalry, which is going to be lightning fast, but useless. Like, they are very bad at defense. They're not very good at attack, but they are very quick. From there, we can have like MG, machine gun nests, machine gunners, which would be heavy defense, no offense. What would be another good unit? Kind of like a generic unit to kind of fill in the gaps, kind of. Now, if I wanted to be really mean, we can do conscripts, which are fodder. The conscripts are useless, but they're something to pretty much put in front. They're taking the initial brunt of the damage. They're pretty much HP sponges. They take this huge amount of damage. They don't do much. However, if they manage to survive, they get something out of it. It's kind of like, well, we've managed to survive by virtue of blunting the damage for the useful people. The shock troopers are now in the trench and wrecking face. We have taken the trench because shock troopers are insane when they get close. However, we have lost many conscripts. So if we use this as kind of like the basic, and then we do heavy artillery is slow, long, and hard hitting. Light artillery, faster, shorter, and less payload. I guess you would also call chlorine gas, which is devastating, short range, and lingers. So it's kind of like you chlorine gas an area, you aren't moving through it because your guys are going to take damage. Okay. Okay. That looks... The factions are going to be pretty good. What I may do with the factions is, if we play it smart, I don't need to worry. Like most of them are going to have the exact same thing, but I might give like each one like a special unit or something. Like, hey, the Germans have really good shock troopers. Or like, hey, the British can, the British infantry is decent. Or hey, the French can, the French get this or something like that. Kind of like the idea of like, yeah, the factions are slightly unique, but not like super duper unique. Nor doesn't they need to be. So trench building. So what we can do is, see, I don't have my tape measure with me. What we can do is probably 2-inch a unit. 2-inch a unit. We want to continuously. So each commit trenches actually. So trenches are persistent. And can be held. Actually, oh yeah, trenches are persistent in the location from which they are constructed. We will do location is important. Location may grant bonuses to. Let's see. Location may grant bonuses to DV. Or or bonus attacks. All right, get out of here. Get rest up. Have a nice night. I'm entering Zen state right now. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Because if we use it along the concept that as a... You want to expend these guys pretty quickly. So trench building... And what we can actually do is each trench line has 3 stages, which reminds me we need to go to Foxhole trench upgrades. Okay. So it has 3 stages: DV equals 0, DV equal 1, DV equal 2, and org. We'll do org 0, org 2, org equal 2, org equal 4. So it's kind of like if you are allowed to build these massive fucking trench, like very entrenched positions, you're going to get you're going to be able to get very defensive locations, but you aren't going to be allowed to build many. Maybe we tie that to a supply system. We can actually maybe make the idea of a supply system. Supply must be spent on restoring organization, or upgrading trenches, or building new ones. So you always want to keep a set of your supply, because that's what's going to allow you to. It's kind of a three-way issue. Is you need to spend your supply to make sure you can build new trenches. We'll use these ones for an example, being like, hey, we need to build some new trench. We need to build a new trench here so we can actually get it. We've determined the distance, and we're going to build a big trench like right through here. That's the plan. We want to build a massive fuck off trench. That's going to cost a lot of resources to do, but we can now move all our guys in there, and we have the town, so we can reinforce better. Obviously, these guys will rush in to fucking kill you because of it. It's going to take time and effort. Okay. But it's also going to be the thing to actually keep you alive. And then we do... three written orders. That's what I'm feeling. So we do orders are 3 orders can be written. 3 orders can be written. 3 orders can be written and quote sent in order. Okay, 3 orders can be written and sent in order with distance determining when they're actually occurring. So, for example, I say my first order I'm writing to myself is I want to move over here. My second order is to this trench line, which is all units move out here. All units move this direction. Cool. And because all units have moved out, this is what's occurring. All units. However, if it was, okay, I want to send it over here, that's going to be a distance, then I move, then I send another one. Okay. Okay, we can have a lot of order. Orders include direct attacks. Direct attacks. Actually, I'm not gonna say reinforcements. Construction improvements, or exterior factors. We can do like maybe like a spy system, so it's just like at a certain, like if you dump a certain number of orders into this, you're not doing anything. You're not. This is very hard because I can't breathe out of my nose right now. If you give me one moment, I'm gonna. Alright, I am alive. Somehow. Oh, God. Dreadful, isn't it? When your eyes all plugged up and you can barely think. So, let's see. Reorders can be written and sent in order. Orders include direct attacks, construction improvements, or exterior factors. Position general. Turns are based on weeks. Okay. Hidden soldier information, determine objective, secret objective. We can probably put in this side will win, actually, if I really want to be thematic about it, is what I can do is stalemate, stalemate on the Western Front kind of thing. Make that kind of make that an ending almost. Kind of like the idea in chess, you can stalemate if nothing occurs at one point. It's kind of along the idea of like, if nobody can push at a certain point, if you've secured one objective, they've secured one objective, and we can't secure any of the other objectives, nobody is moving, you can just say, we'll stalemate. And it's stalemate on the Western Front, with that being kind of the sad, this is kind of the sad reality of the whole thing. Hidden information. So the hidden information is primarily that we can use. Okay, so we're going to need, so this supply system, actually, if I really want to be real fucky wucky, I could put in a supply system. How big do we want these battles? Let's make an estimate. Let's really think. If we say, let's say there's going to be 20 units on both sides, roughly. We do 20 units on both sides. We have a lot of guys on both sides. Everyone's ready to fight. And let's say at any time we're going to have about 15 dedicated, with about 5 in reserve. Actually, that would probably, we'll do about 10 dedicated, 10 in reserve. So it's like, okay, we're doing that where we've dedicated our guys. Some lists might have a lot more guys. Some lists might have a lot less. Your goal might be, I want to absolutely dominate, and 4 artillery pieces. And okay. Let's see. Do we have oh. We'll set it down like right here. No. Vector layers? What the fuck is a vector layer? Oh, midge layer? Working directly. That's not right. Oh, nope. Options. Work mode. Show hands. Distance. Metric. Map style. Hue. Oh, no, select that. Style. We'll do terrain. Oh, wet. Topography. OSM. Oh, golly gee, this is very useful. I don't know why it's like why there's specifically Swiss topographical maps. I don't know why that's a thing, but do OSM. So it would be we'll do something like right here. Let's get a good snipper tool out. Yep, we want to lock you. So we're going to have our first guy, which is going to be Team Yellow. Team Yellow is deploying from the north. They want to immediately set up on... Actually, no, we're not going to do Team Yellow. Team Yellow is dumb. We're going to say Team Purple. They immediately want to set up on the river. That is something that they have made a dedicated effort of saying, we are going to set up on the river. However, the other team, we'll call them Team Blue. Team Blue, kind of realizing they're kind of setting up along the river, has decided to set up their line somewhere along here. Kind of using the kind of the woods, kind of making their way up north. They kind of want to make this their stand, you could say. You know, they're making this their stand. They want to do something like this. So we've kind of have a clear look of where everybody is located, where people are kind of setting up their, setting up. And let's say Blue has their objective, like their secret objective. Blue's secret objective is to take this. That's their secret objective. That's what they want to do. Purple, on the other hand, has their secret objective of they want to take the mines over here. Let's just say that. That's what they want. They want to sweep down this direction. Blue wants to kind of hit right in the middle. That's the current plan for both sides. The main objective that both of them know that they want to keep is actually Blue's secret objective. This is kind of the main objective. They are going to pretty much score double points by virtue of taking this. So it's kind of a big priority for them. But if Purple, the thing is, if Purple knows that this is a big priority for them, they're just going to set up artillery right over here and just never let them. However, we'll say Purple, on the other hand's got their... He says like, okay, we need to take the middle bit. General sits up right here. And blues obviously says like, okay, we're a little bit outgunned. Well, I'm gonna set up right here. That's where the blue general is. That's where purple general is. And that's the battle so far. So we've got that. So let's put down some, we'll say some basic nice artillery pieces. Let's say he's got 2 there, puts 2 over there. If we got a good coverage. Purple on the other hand's like, oopsie doopsie, I'm purple. I'm gonna put down everything right here. So this is the current battlefront. This is the current issues. And this is how we're going to kill each other. So if we make like a dedicated push this direction, we can like establish lines. Okay. However, this battle can kind of take place at any place during this. It's kind of like a, hey, let's fight there. But if you're like, hey, you know what? Let's go wacky, and we want to go to Mongolia for some fucking reason. Or hey, let's go to, like, let's do some war games in China, for example. Like, here you go. This is the war game. Here's here's the map. Like, it's very easy to get a map for this game. That's not complicated at all. You want to be like, hey, let's go to Quebec or something. Like, here's the fight map. Like, right across this river here, you're both kind of like dug in trying to kill the other. Okay, cool. Cuckoo ka-choo-choo. All right. The main goal would be to trench build. I'm gonna need to get my, I think my mom has one. I can try to steal a ruler from her. Tape measure zones or what? Tape measure. This is I am going full war game with this. I'm going kind of full war game with this. This over here is just me eyeballing things just to make a general gist of like, okay, this is kind of like what I expect a battle to be kind of set up as. Being kind of like, yeah, this is an undefined zone where all your fucking soldiers are. The reserves. But if we use that as an example, use the position of the general, 3 orders. 3 orders, you'll never have enough orders to really do everything, so you want to focus. However, you may say, hey, I want to discover hidden information of like, what's in your trench? You know, what's over here? What, you know, tell me, where is your, you know, what artillery pieces are those? You know, are those heavy artillery or are they light artillery? Or are they fake artillery pieces? You know, have you deceived me? Kind of thing. But they're doing the same thing. So it's kind of a, what I would like the game to play out as is, you know, that kind of the first phase is you're trying to figure out what the other opponent's thinking as you're kind of launching these initial little, like, little bit of expeditionaries into it. You know, purple might be like, well, I kind of put this trench over here because I thought he was going to expand, but it's like, okay, why did he go around here? Like, okay, he must be thinking he wants to get the river bonus, so I want to move my guys like here to start, you know, setting up a trench line against him so it'll be faster. But I also want to, like, I just want to continuously pepper his soldiers with my artillery right now to continuously, you know, fuck with him thinking I'm going to charge right into the city. You know, while these guys kind of, well, everyone else kind of maintain, I want to fight, like, I have the advantage. I know I have the advantage. So it's like, aha, I can worry about my left flank now. So, haha. However, on the other side of things, you have, you know, blue here is being like, I want to rush everything forward. That is the game plan. We are rushing. Just throw as much as we physically can in here to just take the city, fortify the city, and we'll win. Like, we'll win by default. Because again, right now, nobody has any victories. If he takes the city, he has both victory points to him, and he's successful. But if Purple finds that out, she's like, they're going like, oh my god, we need to dedicate everything to stop him. It's a little bit chaotic. It's a little bit, you don't, like, you, the player, know one thing. You, the enemy, know another thing. We're both kind of going back and forth with each other. Using kind of like a tape measure or something to kind of determine like, well, okay, you know, my general can launch, you know, it's going to take this will, you know, this will be, we'll say 6 inches for them to get it, but he can order his guys here to launch the attack first. So it's, you're not going to get the orders in time to do a defensive, you know, barrage or to do an offensive barrage. So, okay, yeah, okay, there's, I think this is working. This is going to be the problem child. This is going to be something we're going to work on quite a bit right down here. The idea of building the trenches. Because once the trenches get built, everything else will snap into place pretty easily. Because everything is just going to be built off these trenches. If your trenches aren't good, you're going to die. Okay. Alright. But you'll always be able to fall back kind of thing. You know, we've rushed forward, we want to try and take it, we've been pushed back, we rush back to our trench. They rush forward, we try to take them. I'm going to have to figure out a way to make it so, like, there's a situation where, like, for example, like, these guys move across the bridge and are here, like, they clearly know the infantry is right here, but we don't know what they're doing. Like, they're exposed. So it's like, okay, artillery's telling you to, like, bombard them, then yeah, they're going to take damage. So, yeah, that could work. Alright. I think things are working pretty alright here. Again, this is, we'll say, this is going to be priority numero uno, right here. If this gets sorted out, we're good. Like, most of this is going to be things that are priority. The entire, like, faction system, that's just going to take time. That's going to be, I'm going to delay a little bit on that. It's going to be like, I can worry about you later. Because one thing I do want to do is have, like, the ages, pretty much. Kind of like, here's what the initial one looks like. Here's what the, you know, here's 1914, here's 1915 to 16, here's 17 to 19, you know, 17 to 18, where, hey, those later eras, you have things like tanks, where they aren't very good, they just have a shit ton of organization and a shit ton of health, so they can take that damage very reliably, and because they can take that damage, they can dish it right back, you know, which is valuable. Like, your troops are now have a little bit more survivability, which is important. What? Something? No, weird. Okay, so, yeah, alright, I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling, gonna be weird. But weird is good. Weird is good. Alright. And because I got a slight request to look at this, I may as well, you know, look at it a little bit to say that I am a productive boy. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. This is what I got told to look at this. Hello, soft horizons. Nope, just take me to the downloads. Why God would I ever want to pay you all money? Okay, I do give them credit for this though. I'm gonna give brand new thing that's very rare for me. I'm actually going to be relatively kind. I am going to give the people on itch the, hey, you did the right thing somewhat by changing this from TTRPGs for abortion rights to TTRPGs for reproductive rights. Very different, everybody. Remember that. Just remember, everybody, wording is king. That's one thing I think some people are very bad at, is that they don't realize wording is very important, and sometimes they are very bad at wording. But yeah, I got told to look at this. This isn't going to be a case or anything. I've never opened this book before. This is called Soft Horizon. Do I even have... If you ever want something real cursed, there we go. This is Soft Horizon, and by let's see, VSCA. Tell me more about VSCA. Oh, played entirely by email, send in-character mail to other influencers that change the world. Oh, wow. I give the guy credit. He's charging $11.95 for everything. New games on our blog. As withdrawn from most marketing and business. The second edition, if you guess, I guess like any explosion won't last long, but we're still working. Callisto. Oh, that's neat. I ain't paying $12 for this. Oh, okay. The King Machine. Oh. Alright. Monkey. Cool. Don't care. Brad J. Murray. Oh, he's got tattoos. The tattoo man. Is he cool? He says like this. Oh, he's got a Patreon. Tell me more about your Patreon. No, he doesn't actually have a Patreon. He's commented on a lot. And he's liked a lot. Looks like he follows a bunch of people. I got a message from somebody. What's with my notification? I am in perpetual agony. Goodbye, James. We've had a good run. I am sad now. I lost a patron, everybody. Let's do a little bit of a look. Did he give me an exit survey? Let's see. Yeah, exit survey. Ah, we'll be back adjusting Patreon account. No worries, everybody. He's cool. I am in perpetual agony. I understand people get tattoos. My friend was big in tattoos, so it's like here's the thing with tattoos. I understand the appeal of tattoos. I understand it. I don't get flash of the moment tattoos, if that makes sense. Like to me, like every tattoo would need to have significant purpose. I don't have any tattoos because I don't want any. Like I haven't really thought of anything with a significant purpose to it. Like if it's like, hey, here's my child's birthday, or hey, it's a do not resuscitate thing, or it's like a blood type tattoo, or it's like a I don't know. Like if it's like fairly significant, I could see like tattoos are fine. To me anyway. It's like, you know what, that's nice. Like it's something permanent on your body and you should really respect it. I don't get people who are like, I got Tinkerbell, or like I got hit new young adult fiction novel book title on my fucking arm or something. Don't get that. Don't get that at all. Like that's like the one thing I don't get about tattoos sometimes. It's not like culturally significant, not personally significant, if that makes sense. Or like I'm getting tattoos for the purpose of getting a tattoo. That I don't get. That I find kind of weird. But yeah, this is Soft Horizon. So let's do a little bit of a look here. Let's look. All right, pretty standard style play. Share story. Got a good start during first session. So, what do you depend on what happens there? You'll try to erase your debts and wounds because they reduce your ability to influence events. You'll pursue the mysteries that interest you. Let's see. We get out the dice. More dice. Conflict arises. You know, the appropriate method. The player will narrate the efforts. Anyone who can help. Sanddogs uses polyhedral dice. Playing on text chat. Discord or IRC or Hangout. Shine on. You'll find a shared document you can all edit at the same time to be useful as well. Resolution. Oh god, my eyes. Okay, this isn't very... Situation requires a resolution. Response with an action maps to a method that is going to throw dice. They are the primary. Not used method has no dice, either from wounds dead or being denied. The primary brings the dice indicated by character sheet. The selected method. If it's specialization, they get a dice both the specialization and the base method. Others may offer help with a method of their own or something from their loot. Okay, there's a lot here. It's one of those things, like, it's saying a whole lot. It's one of those things where this is saying a whole lot, but it feels like it's not saying a lot either. Like, yeah. See, others may offer their method, something. The primary may add the resources. Primary rules the dice and chooses which dice to use the resolution. And you realize risk may be on that person. If the die shows a maximum value, it triggers a progression. The source of the die gets the benefit and chooses what happens. Wait, if the die shows its maximum value, it triggers a progress. God, my eyes, conflicts. I'll steal some cookies. So I am starving, poor in a strange city, and to root up some grub illicitly is almost a conflict. Like the Marcus Hall full of cookies run by an alert looking much blah 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 blah. The risks, every action you need to roll a risk, risks or cost, potential debt, harm, potential wound, delay, spillover, ineffectiveness. Only as the last resort because boring. Oh, sweet Jesus. So once there's dice are determined, the acting method gives its die. If the specialization is appropriate, add that die. But you just said no. Again, it looks like it's trying to say a lot, but also saying absolutely nothing at the exact same time. It's quite impressive, actually. I'm very impressed by the fact that I am just emotionally drained already by watching this. Success is legendary. It lacks a loser. Legend conflict between people. When success is legendary, it lacks a loser. A legendary success in a conflict between people ends in conflict with both sides satisfied. Sometimes you can't find a way to do this. Try, though. The violent conflict ends legendarily. Knife at the throat, birthmark revealed, with the realization that the two are Oh my god, okay, that's fine. Alright, okay. Then selecting a method. I've ever read something and you're just like, yep, this is definitely a game. I'm like, I would want to go deeper into this simply because I am curious of what the fuck it actually is trying to say here. Because this is an SRD, alright. I'm curious. I'm very curious. Let's do a little bit of an adventure, shall we? What is Sand Dogs all about? It's hot, it's dirty, and probably means someone else found out. But assume for you'll get there. Your armored car is fast, rigged for hard packed sand. Coming more people. Is that a biplane? Fast playing RPG that provides simple, durable rules of play. Psychedelic diesel punk fantasy that links all other planes in the soft horizon. There's more. Obstacles to online play have been removed, making go-to choice play with friends anywhere on the net. This is written by a man in his 50s. You know what? I will try to hunt down Sand Dogs. I'm gonna put a note for myself here. Try to hunt down Sand Dogs. Because I'm curious now. Because I like diesel punk. I think diesel punk is pretty cool. It's kind of a little bit overplayed, but I enjoy it. It's something fun. You don't see that much of it. Oh god, someone linked another thing. Oh god, why do people keep linking things? So, this is, for context, this is a guy named Chris by Thrones Beware. He published this last year. Kill Them Faster is Glorious Bastards versus John Wick versus 11/22/63 versus Pro Sports, the RPG. There's only the alpha version here. Do you have a website? I think you do. 20 cents a word. 20 cents a word. I'll do it for 10 cents a word. Hell, I'll do it for free simply to make sure this guy doesn't get paid, because that's funnier. That's far more amusing. Yeah, this guy hasn't posted for like a year. Ooh. I don't think he has a website anymore. Let's look at his game that he put out. On May 8th, 2068, Elsabet Rosenweig. Oh, we got it, guys. Elsabet Rosenweig answered the most pressing question in science fiction. What is the first thing you would do if you could travel through time? By killing Hitler. That's it? That's the first thing you would do? Like, that's what... See, I'm reminded of a fucking comedy, not a fucking college humor sketch of traveling back in time, or having the ability to travel back in time makes you morally responsible to try to stop every atrocity that has ever occurred. Like, you are morally responsible, or their blood is on your hands continuously. In this situation, all I can say is Elsabet here is morally repugnant by virtue of effectively wasting time travel on trying to kill Hitler but not doing anything with it. That's the ugh. Only one can ever travel back in time to June 16th, 1938. Exactly 7 years, 6 days, 23 hours, 15 seconds. One reappears in the present. One cannot bring items back from the past. Nothing one does can pass changes the future, and most importantly, killing Hitler is fun. Interest national security, only just quickly given away for pennies to a multinational defense contractor. Mothballing the project there, a half-drunk junior executive makes a suggestion remark to face of professional sports. The techs are speed-running Hitler. We make a show out of it. Is that all you do in 1938? Like, actually, I'm curious. Not Hoi 4 start date. Don't need that. Like, yeah, you're 3 years into the... You're 2 years into the fucking Spanish Civil War. Jesus. Why would you do that? You are literally condemning thousands of people to death. Oh my god. You monsters. Yeah, like... What the fuck, Marlon Davidson? This is it. This is a thing that happens. Is this exact? This is very odd, very strange. It's the kind of thing you like someone would make as a meme game, but it does give me an idea at least. But yeah, no, this is exactly what I think it is. Huh. Alright. That's a thing. You ever just look at something and you're like, yep, that exists. That definitely exists. And I don't care. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there for today. Oh yeah, I should bring this up because I find this very amusing. And because God is dead. Cowboy Bebop is getting its official game. And it's ooh. Now, this is one of the other odd things about this game because I just want to kind of go over. It says like, oh, Mana Project Studios, that they did not the end. Weirdly enough, they say Don't Panic Games are the ones doing it, which I have a strange feeling, a strange and horrible little feeling that someone didn't sign a contract very well. Because no one would ever do such a thing, because that would be stupid. Because these guys have, like, this company right here, Don't Panic Games, makes like board games and card games. Like, you can buy Naruto. You can buy Naruto Ninja. You can buy Naruto Ninja Arena, the Sensei Pack. Look, you can buy this. It looks like a little dice game or something. Like you can buy that. That's a board game that you can buy. Like right here, it's the join an all-out dice brawl. Your best ninja in Konoha Village. Look, everyone, I'm gonna Shikamaru's in there. I don't know why he's here, but he's here, I guess. You can play your best friend Naruto. Or Sasuke. When did this come out? Also, apparently it takes 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Takes 15. Yeah, this is... Now, this is telling me one thing. Here's the thing. This is telling me one very important thing. Like, right here. Like, here is the... And this is a very fascinating thing about a little bit of legalese for everybody. I have a strange feeling the tabletop game rights were sold to these guys. They pretty much did, well, not really sold, but they had purchased or they have got the rights to publish tabletop games for these franchises. Naruto, Cowboy Bebop, a couple other things. However, this is where things get a little bit wacky. They've got the rights to it to publish these things. However, probably never stipulated the specifics because it's a tabletop game. I do board games. I do this. You're going to play Cowboy Bebop Star Serenade. That's it. That's kind of how the game plays out. And some of these are actually fairly unique too. Like these aren't just like bargain basement board games. They're definitely there. Let's see, where was the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Nightmare Storm? Fuck. Yeah. They do have an Attack on Titan board game, The Last Stand, which you can climb a Titan and die horribly, I guess, as you play Connie. Thanks, Connie. But yeah, like they have the tabletop game rights to this. So I have, even Tokyo Ghoul. They have the Tokyo Ghoul ones right here. So I have a strange and beautiful feeling that these guys got the rights to it, and they're like, hey, we made, there's been a lot of games that are making a lot of money on Kickstarter for, franchise games. Why don't we go on Kickstarter, pump out a Cowboy Bebop game? Not because we're consulting with the original people, but because it's Cowboy Bebop and we own the rights to it. So it's less along the lines of like, oh, cool, it's like, we have the rights to this, we can do what we want. So we're Don't Panic Games, we're going to pretty much hire out these other guys to help us make this so we can put it on Kickstarter real fast. People are going to buy it because it's fucking Cowboy Bebop, and they probably own all the art and all the bits to it to make the games, because you need to do that, because they're not going to make their fucking own. So... let's just say this isn't going to be a Japanese game. This is not a Japanese role-playing game. Let's just put that out there right now. This is made by an Italian company, for God's sakes, based on a franchise another company owns the rights to produce board games for. Fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating. Terrifying. I hate it. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much. Godspeed. Good luck. I will see you all on Monday. Tomorrow. Actually, no. See you all on... Time is irrelevant. I'll see you all on Wednesday. I'm going to work on Trenchfoot some more. That's going to be it, really. Today, I'm going to be working on the Necropole video. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Godspeed. Good luck. And get some sleep.